Well, we heard there that Rishi Sunak is expected to champion new energy projects in North East Scotland in the coming days. And our political correspondent, Rob Powell, is in Dundee tonight. So a focus on energy use and drivers. Wedge issues for the voting public, Rob?
Well, Rishi Sunak certainly hopes so, Anna. He's expected on a visit further up the Scottish coast from where I am now. And I think the politics of what the Prime Minister is trying to achieve is pretty clear to see in both the case of oil and gas and also these so-called anti-car schemes. He's essentially trying to identify issues, policy areas where he can set the government's position as far apart as possible and against Labour's position and attack Sir Keir Starmer on that. So on LTN's low traffic neighbourhoods, what the Prime Minister wants to do is try to extend some of the electoral success they had in Uxbridge in that by-election and paint Labour more broadly as anti-motorist. Well, on new oil and gas, they want to seize on Labour's promise not to licence any new oil and gas exploration in the North Sea and paint the party as essentially posing a threat to energy security at a time when costs are rising. Now, I understand Labour's position on new North Sea oil and gas remains, although they say they would stand by any new licences that were granted ahead of the next general election and wouldn't revoke any existing licences either. I think it's worth remembering, though, amid this tilt away from green policy, that actually net zero pledges are pretty popular with the public, according to the polls, albeit that gets more complicated when it comes to who pays for them. And I think the politics of low traffic neighbourhoods are more complex as well. Remember, Boris Johnson promised a year or so ago to introduce more of them. And actually, whilst, yes, there are many that detest them, there are many that like them too. But Rishi Sunak's backbenchers have been pushing for him to take the fight to Labour more fiercely and to set out the government's position as opposed to Labour's more clearly. He's doing that now, but I think many will wonder what the real-world consequences will be of those battle lines and also whether they have enough electoral resonance to shift the dial in the Conservatives' direction in any meaningful way.